Yes, Coach. Obviously, a huge win up as many as 37, won by 32. Wanted to ask you about Booker having 34, and I know the votes are already in. Were supposed to be due earlier for the coaches, but he certainly showed that he was all-star worthy in his performance. Maybe you just speak to how he played tonight.
But there's no doubt about it. No one can debate that Book's not an all-star. End of story. The impact on winning, the numbers, and we have a few wins. So from my perspective, and I don't think you'll find any coach in the league that would debate that he is an all-star. End of story.
And to follow up, just you came out and you talked about just focus and having it from the jump. Just what you think about how the guys started, and it seemed like early they were locked in.
Well, I think when you come off of a road trip, off of a back-to-back, and you don't have the time to practice, to have that kind of energy output, first game back was huge for us. And then the third quarter is something that, we knew was going to be important against someone like Lillard and that particular team. So I thought our energy was great. In the second quarter, we had some coverages that got a little bit murky, and we didn't lose our poise at all. We kept it at a really good level. The guys were talking in timeouts, and we came out in the third quarter and had, somewhat of an explosion on both ends. And, we have a great deal of respect for, that team and for Damian. He's ripping up the league right now. And so our guys knew and respected him so much that we had to pay a lot of attention to him, and everybody in the league does. So I thought we did a good job of, trying to make it tough on him. And our guys just played exceptionally well. Like I said, off of a road trip, to have that kind of energy is huge for us.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then David Brandt.
Hey, Coach, they started with Lillard on Book, and Book went at him right away. Was that more the Boston game again, where that was Chris and Devin kind of calling that? Did you guys have an idea that was coming in? Because Book's had a lot of success. Yeah,
we didn't know that they were going to do that. We just tried to take advantage of, that particular situation. It says more about Damian than anything. Like, I looked at it like that's the leader. He's like, I'm going to go guard the best player. Not many guys do that in his position anymore. And that's why you love guys like Chris and Damian. Like, they want those challenges. So I looked at it totally differently. I respected the heck out of him. And I was, just watching two competitors in Book and Damian kind of go at it. That, I guess I'm a bit weird that way, but I was like, that's pretty impressive.
We've talked a lot about the 8-0 start, 8-0 run from the bubble, of course, but including the fourth quarter of the Pelicans game, this just feels like a gear that you guys have hit that we maybe haven't seen from you guys yet since you arrived here. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really – I just don't have time to kind of look at it that way. Right. I hope so. I hope we have a few more gears and levels to get to. That's your hope as a coach, is that your team continues to grow and develop as we continue to learn our system and learn each other. I'm hopeful. I love when we defend the way that we did. They had 17 points in the third quarter. That was, to me, the game right there. So defensively, if we can continue to grow and adjust on the fly and continue to, be efficient offensively, I think, I'm hopeful that we can continue to grow and get to another level or two.
Next is David Brandt with the Associated Press, and then Paolo Uggetti.
Hey, Monty, I know that Devin Booker's been good a long time, and obviously he's been good since you've got here, but it seems like really this whole season, he's just asserting himself on the court. He does what he wants pretty much whenever he wants. Just what do you attribute his, like I said, he was always good, but just continued growth into the player that he is right now?
his work ethic and his dad. You know, I've been pretty consistent with that. He works his tail off. He's not somebody that just shows up to the gym and just, you know, jacks up shots. Like he really works on his game. He works on his feet. He works on his body. But he and his dad put a ton of work in. And I hear about the workouts. I just, you know, I try not to mess it up. You know, I try to give him the best chance to be efficient. But this is, you know, years and years and years of work with him and his father. That's how I see it.
Next up is Paulo Uggetti with The Ringer, followed by Joe Pequena.
Hey, Monty, I'm just curious. This is, I think, the second home game where the Suns have allowed more fans in the building. And I'm wondering if, just given the way the season has gone, if you feel like more fans in any way has had any effect on the play, or when you guys play a team that has no fans as opposed to fans, if you felt the differences between those two environments.
No, it absolutely is an advantage for us. Early on, when we would go to Memphis, Utah, and I think it was Houston, you could see the advantage for those teams having fans in the building. And so for us to have, you know, the number of fans that we had, you can feel it. I mean, it's not the 18,000 that this city is used to, you know, having, rocking, but the limited fans we have, they're giving it up for us. And it certainly is an advantage for our guys to hear our fan base giving them some juice before the game, during the game, and then the applause when we leave the floor after a win. It's pretty cool.
Next up is Joe Pequena with Fanatic Sports Radio, followed by Brendan Clean. Joe, you there? All right, we're going to go to Brendan Clean with Bright Side of the Sun. He'll be followed by Kevin Zimmerman.
Hey, Monty, one of the through lines has obviously just been the offense. I know you talked about it with the 3 wins. I mean, I know you talked about Booker's part in that, but is there anything else you've seen as a connecting kind of thread over these 3 games? Because you guys have been at or above like 120 most of the nights the past 3.
You know, when you look at that New Orleans game, it was our defense that allowed for us to get out and transition. And, you know, when you give Chris the ball or Book the ball in the open floor, they can generate it for themselves or other people. I think our offense has just been a byproduct of us being able to get stops and rebound. You know, we struggle with that. We have struggled with it this year, completing our defense with a rebound. Now there's been more of a focus to box out, and it's pretty glaring when we don't. You know, when we contest and leak out and teams get an extra possession. There was one tonight on the free throw box out. We missed the box out. I think Covington got the rebounding, and they ended up getting the 3. Right away, our guys understood like that hurts our offense. So that's the thing that we've been, you know, preaching, is being consistent with our habits. I think we're getting better with that. Offensively, you know, we Chris and Book generate a ton of offense for themselves and the rest of our team.
All right, Coach, final 2 questions will be Kevin Zimmerman with Arizona Sports and Christos Saltis.
Hey, Monty, last few wins you've had, those single quarters where you guys really do, like you mentioned, play really good defense, and the turnovers tonight were a big part of that. Is there anything that you can point to and say, that's how we forced turnovers? Was it just disruption? Was it communication? Like, why are you able to put those quarters together, I guess?
Tough one. I mean, I think Mikal Bridges, you know, he's a big part of that, his ability to guard difficult offensive players. And a lot of times his length, you know, he gets his hands on a lot of balls, or he forces a lot of hang time passes because he is long. And on the backside, you know, our guys can get steals or deflections because teams may be throwing hang time passes. But I think the communication is a little bit better than it was because guys kind of know our system. They know what we're calling. You know, there's a number of factors. You know, Jay's really helped our defense with his versatility, and DA is somebody that, you know, probably doesn't get enough credit for how he helps our defense. He's a big, strong kid, but he can move his feet. So we just feel fortunate that our guys are starting to grasp the defense for us. And then Chris, how many times have you seen Chris just stick his nose in a crowd of people and he come out with the ball or get a hand on the ball or disrupt what the offense is trying to do?
Final question goes to Christos Saltis from Greece.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win and the performance as well.
Hey,
I would
Chris,
like to ask you about Devin, because you mentioned his work ethic. I would like to ask you, what is the biggest improvement and the biggest progression about his game through the season? And what is the biggest difference on and off the court about his leadership and about his attitude in the team than last season?
He's probably more comfortable in our system for sure. Having been in it for a year plus now, I've said this to you guys. I felt like the bubble was our second season because we had that time off in between. It allowed for guys to really process what we were trying to do as a staff and as a program. Well, he's been in it. He and DA and Cam and Mikal, JC, those guys have been in our program the longest, and Dario. I think guys are becoming more familiar with what we run and how we do things. But he's just a good player, man. There's I love to tell you that I move the chess pieces around, and in my case, checker pieces, and help him. He's just a really good basketball player. He's one of the most complete offensive players I've ever been around.
Yeah, obviously, you guys are coming off of that road trip, but Coach talked about the energy you guys had in that first half, and obviously a wire-to-wire win. What do you feel like was the difference tonight for you guys?
Just not trying to let up. Giving a team like them confidence, how good they are. If you let up, they're gonna execute and they're gonna make a comeback. So we just came in, started at third. We're starting to get better. Starting the second half early in the season, and then games after we struggled, so we just had to lock in. Coach been on us, and we just came out and had energy from the rip.
And just a real quick follow, you said locked in. Have you guys been? Is this the most you guys have been locked in? You feel this season?
Yeah, it's just getting better. I think that's what it is. Just just being more time with each other. We starting to realize, what we have to do. And I feel like we give it more locked in, and we're just going to continue to get better and more locked in every game.
Next up is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Brendan Clean.
Hey, Mikal, through all the threes and the high scoring, the defense you guys have played the last couple of games might get lost in the discussion. Can you take us through a bit how playing that level of defense has helped out the offense and just the flow of things for you guys on the court?
Yeah, our best offense is our defense. So just getting out in transition, getting open shots, driving, getting to the rim. So, once we get stops, we're all confident on the other end. And it makes you play more confident when you know that you get stops on defense. You could come out there and be more aggressive because you get stops. It's just how it is. That's just the feel when you play basketball. So, we're doing a great job. Coach is doing a great job coaching us and getting us better. And we're just out there trying to execute and play as hard as we can.
Next up is Brendan Clean with Forbes, followed by Paul Richardson.
And Mikal, Coach said that there's moments he talked about the rebound that Portland got off the free throw, just little things like that where he can kind of see you guys realize we can't make mistakes like that. Do you notice that same kind of intensity recently as well?
Yeah, for sure. We can it's just the little things, man. We preach it too. So that's why I said we always can get better. Try to limit those things, limit things that we can control, and we just gotta, get better and, just try, Coach always preaches it. We just gotta lock in on little certain moments like that.
Next is Paul Richardson with the Sports Cave, followed by Gina Mizell.
Hey, Mikal, two-parter here. The first part is you talked about picking up from the jump from half court line when you're guarding Dame. Notice that you did that a lot tonight. One, how much do you think that bothers him with your length? And then two, when you see Devin cooking like that, what's going through your mind?
For the first question, I just try to make it tough for him. I don't know if it frustrates him or not. Just try to be there. Try to use my length. Nigga, he's an unbelievable player. Definitely an MVP race. So we just try to limit him, try to make the other guys beat us. And credit to those guys. Those guys the other players are really good too. So we just know the head of the snake is Dame, and we got to try to limit his shots and let somebody else beat us. And second is crazy. Half of the time I'm cutting, moving, and getting ready to pick up full court. So when he just makes them, I'm just all right, pick up. But when I'm off the court and I'm watching it, I can really see what he's doing, and I'm really excited. Hypes me up.
Final two questions would be Gina Mizell with Suns.com and Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Mikal, you kind of mentioned this with how you answered Brendan's question, but that term locked in, like you hear coaches say it all the time, you hear players say it all the time. I'm just curious if you can elaborate more on what that term means to you, both like personally and as a team and as a group.
Just locked in on personnel and a scout and who you're guarding. Either if you're on ball, off ball, just locking in what we have to do. You know, we have different type of schemes we have for this game, and you know, not trying to slip up, so always being locked in and staying into the scout and everything.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Yeah, Mikal, obviously, Devin is in that all-star discussion. Is that debate over? Should he be selected as an all-star tomorrow?
Absolutely. You see what he does game in and game out. You know, leads us to wins, and he deserves it, man. That's all I say.
Yeah, Devin, just got two questions. First, the way you guys came out and then started that third quarter, you've talked before about coming in locked in, ready to play. That's what it looked like. Just maybe speak to that on how you guys started the first half and the second half and getting the win.
Just like you said, just being ready. It's been great communication, you know, amongst the team, amongst the coaching staff. Everybody's locked in. You know, I think that fourth quarter in New Orleans, you know, I think we talked to each other a lot and communicated a lot. And ever since then, it's been real effective for us. So, you know, obviously it's not always going to be like this. We're not going to make all shots, but, you know, our defense is something that we can rely on. And it's been well for us.
And just a quick follow, obviously they're going to announce the All-Star reserves tomorrow. The voting is already in. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you, it seemed like it would be a lock for you to be named as a reserve. Just how are you feeling about it right now?
I mean, we'll see, man. You know, it's just something that you never know. So, you know, I don't do too much thinking about it. My main focus is getting wins for this team. So, you know, it'd be an honor, you know, to make my second appearance. But, you know, I guess we'll see tomorrow.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Kevin Zimmerman.
Hey, Book, going back to that fourth quarter of the Pelicans game to now, would you say this 9-quarter stretch is the highest quality of basketball the Suns have played since you've been here?
I would think so. It's been some really good basketball played. Yeah.
Next up is Kevin Zimmerman with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Hey, Devin, just when you watch Mikal with his ability to kind of bother Dame 94 feet, how much does that disrupt an offense as a whole, I guess?
It's the term that we use, you know, cut the head off the snake. You know, obviously, you know, Dame is no easy matchup, and he's not going to stop, you know, all the way through. So, you know, with guys like him, you know, if there is any guys like him, you know, you have to keep going, you know, just make it hard for him. And, you know, not one man can stop him. It has to be a team defense. And we all have to be locked in. And, you know, Mikal does a great job of that, you know, of taking on that challenge and, you know, embracing it. So, you know, he does that night in and night out with, you know, prolific scores.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Paul Richardson.
Hey, Book, you just mentioned being able to rely on your defense this season. At what point so far this year did you feel like that was the case, where like, okay, we're communicating well, we're on a string defensively, this is like the end of the floor that we can rely on every single night?
From the beginning, you know, bringing guys, you know, like Chris and Jay in here, you know, they communicate that and let everybody know, You know, and that's good. And I think in the bubble, that's something that we talked about. Because you know, people always say it's a make-miss league, and oh, we just lost because we missed shots tonight. And you know, we just try to take those excuses away, you know, and make the other team miss shots. Not just say they were hitting everything, you know, make them make tough shots. You know, if they make it, you know, slap them on their ass and keep playing. And that's what we've been doing.
All right, Book, final two questions would be Paul Richardson with the Sports Cave and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Book, two-parter here. One, I know you guys talk a lot about defense, but when you're hitting shots like that, the rim must feel about 20 feet wide for you because they're just flowing. And then two, how good is it to get a lead like that and rest that fourth quarter through?
Yeah, our last two games have been really good for us, especially with this long season of. I think we have games every other day from here on out, even post break. So you know, we know there's a lot of games coming. I like the depth of our team, you know, for a schedule like this. But you know, anytime you can get those extra 12 minutes of rest and not be out there is a big help. So you know, big wins like that are important.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic.
Hey, DA, what have these last 9 quarters been like in terms of everything coming together? Because everyone's going to look at like the 3-point shooting, the high scoring, but you guys have defended at an extremely high level too.
Just being locked in, starting the games off right, making sure we don't get in slumps. I think we learned from that Brooklyn game and not trying to have minor setbacks like that again. So it's really carried us a long way. We learned from our lesson.
Next up is Christos Saltis from Greece and then Dwayne Rankin.
Hello, DA. Congratulations on the win and the performance. How important for you is to create winning habits with a statement wins like this against the Blazers, with the performances like this against the Blazers? And also, did you notice any progression of Devin Booker this season and any improvement on his game? Thank you.
Well, we knew Portland was a big game. We knew we were fighting for a spot, and you know how that was. We knew what we had to do tonight, and we got the job done. We were locked in the shoot around. The guys, you could feel the energy from when you stepped in the gym. Guys was ready to play. Guys was ready on the floor, working out, getting ready, putting up shots, and they just carried into the game. And D-Book has shown stuff like beyond All-Star. Like he's been an All-Star. You know, we've been know D-Book as a bucket, but like him scoring the way he's scoring, and the way how he's carrying us and the way how he's leading us through his style of play, it's insane. And, you know, my first time here seeing the growth that, you know, where he's coming matured, it's insane. It's almost unbelievable. I just called him the GOAT on the sideline because he came, I think, back to back before the third quarter ended, just knocking down some big shots, you know, closing out the quarter. And, you know, just seeing how he handles things, especially when, you know, the game could go anyway. And, you know, even when it's on our favor and everybody's cheering, he still keeps his mindset and, you know, he still get the job done and keep our eyes on the prize. So major growth with D-Book. And, you know, he's leading us and it's contagious. So we're damn near growing with him and, you know, going alongside him. So as a team, we're doing pretty good.
Next up is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic and then Gina Mizell.
Yeah, DeAndre. It seems like since that fourth quarter in New Orleans that I don't want to say a switch was flipped because you guys had won 6 in a row before that, but it just seemed like you guys are playing at an even higher level. What do you attribute that to?
If I gave you the secrets, I think every team would want to use it. So I can't give you the secret. Be the person who talk. But other than that, I just give you the general serious basics of, you know, just keeping each other accountable. You know, being on top of each other, your teammate expecting more from you than your coach. You playing alongside your brother, knowing that you'll have a brother for life, when you know that you're coming out here playing hard every game. So it's just all that stuff that we unlocked on this team where it's beyond basketball. You know what I'm saying? So it shows in the game how locked in we are. We play for our coach and we play for our organization, and you know it's fun. It's fun. I can't lie, it's fun.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com and then Paulo Uggetti.
Hey, DA, you just said the term locked in. Mikal says it a lot. Book says it a lot. I'm just curious for you personally, like what is the process that you go through to make sure that you are locked in and focused for every game?
Man, my teammates, I rather hear from my coach than my teammates. So I'll just give you that one right there. But, just knowing the type of dude I am and knowing the expectations and knowing the responsibility every night, there is no hiccups really. You know what I'm saying? It can't be no hiccups. There's no error for hiccups because I take care of so much. And I'm glad my team trusts me and believe in me to cover that. So, I mean, just having those guys be on me and knowing the type of knowing the type of game, knowing our personnel, knowing the strategy we coming into the game. They know the better the team, the more responsibility I have in coming into these games, and they trust me, and it just enhance it. I just have a strong mentality that I'm gonna have my teammates back regardless of the matter, and they're gonna have mine when I try to clean up around the rim or go verticality or I'm out there with guards switching. So it's just vice versa, and we got that trust.
Final two questions would be Paulo Uggetti with the Ringer and Leonardo Torres.
Hey, DeAndre, I'm just wondering, this is the second game I think you guys have had an increased amount of fans in the stands. And I'm wondering if you felt that at all, and if that has made a difference, especially maybe on the defensive end or in any way.
Man, I'm telling you, them fans being out there, I miss the fans. I hate the audio. They be running with the fake fans, playing fans when fans ain't there. So just seeing our people out there is amazing. And we playing for them. So, just hearing your name, hearing them yell out your name, even when it's an opposing team fan, yelling at you, you miss all of that. And that's what it's about. So, it's just being back in that environment, embracing it. And, it can be scarce, just missing stuff like that. You appreciate it. I appreciate all of that. So just seeing people come out and, come and watch the game is a blessing. And all we can do is freaking play hard and entertain them, give them what they came for.
Final question is Leonardo Torres from Peru.
Hi, DA. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. DA, Terry Stotts, Blazers coach, said your defensive game was one of the best. Do you think you're a candidate for the Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, hold on. You gave me goosebumps. Me, to be honest, I think you're the first dude that ever asked me that question, so I don't even know. I try to play the best defense possible. Me, I don't categorize myself on the defensive end as a big man. I've been waiting to tell coach I could switch 1 through 5, but the positions he put me in and the coverages I have had is showing a glimpse of that. So all I can do is just, control what I control and, just enhance all of this and, just add more to my game. There's a lot more to learn, but, it's good. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. That defensive player, yeah, you got me. You kind of got me right there. I don't know. I just come out and try to, be a presence. I just try to be much of a presence, whatever the coverage is, whether it's going verticality around the rim, blitzing the ball. If it's a 1 through 5 switch, I just try my best.